Hello. In this video, I wanted to talk about everything as content. So, when I say that, something that I've been realizing, I still do like drawing and I do a lot of it, but I also fit in making videos almost every day when I can. Sometimes I make a bunch of videos in advance before I release them, and I do that for various reasons. Sometimes, not every day, I have the time to make videos. I always have time to draw, but actually, making videos can sometimes be a very significant strain. I feel like I also can't count making videos as practice in any way because of the uh, kind of the multitasking I'm doing and talking, which I would say kind of is the equivalent to listening to music or listening to anything, even a podcast when you're drawing. Like, I wouldn't count it as a solid practice because I think it takes away your focus or your attention, maybe even subconsciously. You may think you can get away with it and you may be able to do it, but I would say being even a sliver good while drawing and talking at the same time, I think that just, you're just not really flexing the right drawing muscles when you're, or muscle memory when you're doing that. So it's something that I'm always trying to be very aware of when I make videos. I always try to get in my practice before I do that. The other thing is I do want my content to be meaningful. I don't want to make videos for the sake of videos, and perhaps I have done that in the past. Perhaps I didn't really know what to make, but I think by planning pretty much by making a bunch of videos in advance and thinking of titles for them and all of that has been extremely helpful instead of me scrambling weekly to make videos. Like, sometimes someone may recommend something and I'll make it right away because I'm like, oh, that's actually interesting, and I would do it in that event. But if I need to make a video every week or so, or whenever I need to, I'll plan them far well in advance. Or maybe it's something that I learned. Sometimes if I find something really significant that I make or discover as I am in my drawing career and practice, if you could say it, I wouldn't really call it a practice. I mean, I guess I'm always practicing, but in the terms of just my skill level and trying to gain more experience and whatnot, I will occasionally write an internet article, and I'll probably expand on those articles as I go. Because one article that I was talking about was creating your own art Bible. Now, when I say that, it was kind of like a way to document yourself and document the tools you're using, finding what works for you, having it all centrally located in one place. The ultimate idea, well, I would say the main purpose is to have your own knowledge base. So I think the human mind can learn a lot, but there is a reason why we have a recipe book, whether you're cooking or not. I think having recipes is just something you're eventually going to need and run into, and it's better to write that down so you don't mistakenly forget an ingredient and like a way to have reproducible steps. I think that is kind of important for certain things. I'm not trying to boil everything in art down to a science because you have to find a healthy balance, but I do think having something like that could be very beneficial to someone, whatever it is that you want to do, however you see your own art career progressing. Or, I'm not saying you have to make it a career. I mean, you could very well do it for the purpose of enjoyment or just for the purpose of art. But, if there is someone who does want to make a career out of it in any way, it is a good idea to have a knowledge base. Whether for yourself, that would probably be the largest benefit, perhaps to share with others. In my case, something that I'm always trying to do is share information that I think would help others. I try not to share too much because, as the title is, everything is content. Sometimes I feel like we are encouraged to share way too much information online, and I think it's, to a certain extent, it's okay, but sometimes I feel like it becomes a bit inappropriate. mean, I've seen this in newsletters, I've seen this on various social media, and I guess, it does cause a greater connection, but, like, I think only sharing what you're comfortable with is good. Like, I think sharing family matters kind of becomes a bit too much. You know, some people like that stuff. Sometimes it is a good way for people to vent and get out frustration, and it could be even, like, not a substitute for therapy if you truly need it, but more perhaps as more like therapeutic to some people. In this digital age, it appears more and more people are reclusive. I would say a lot of that is because of the internet, and also because we're kind of leaving the times of 2020. Sadly, I can't say that word in this video, but you probably know what it is if you lived through it. And, I think that period of isolation, that period of isolation really did a number on a lot of people, and perhaps got them used to a way of life that isn't really normal and something we're not really made for. The thing is, we are social animals. If you look at a lot of insects, like bees and whatnot, a lot of them, like, there are a lot of social insects. So, yeah, it's really weird. I don't think it's weird, but, they band together, and they're with each other, and that's how they live. And to a certain extent, you do need communication with others to live, and a YouTube connection may not always be the best substitute for that. So, always trying to outreach with others is a good idea. I hope I'm not going too far in a tangent with this. I was talking about 2020, and then I kind of veered off. But the point is, I was making a good deal of content on a weekly basis in 2020, and I didn't really know what else to talk about, and I feel like, I took a long break from making YouTube videos, because at the same time, I was also making applications. A lot of my apps are free. The majority of them are free. And, the purpose of that was because I ran into issues that I think, I ran into issues in which I couldn't find the tools that I needed, so I decided to share them with others. To a certain extent, from a financial point of view, that's a really bad thing to do. I'm not saying everything I do is for the purpose of finances, but I do think money is important to a certain extent. Not a lot of people do want to talk about it. Granted, I wasn't ever doing this for a career, and I do have a day job, but, it is just one of those things. Like, I hope I don't sound like, I'm not sure the name of someone, like, no one is all good, no one is all bad. I hope I don't seem like everything I do is for that purpose. I don't want to sound like a overly moral. Well, you understand what I'm trying to get at with it. So everything being content, even I would talk about it. I think this video is a bit recursive, in which I'm basically making YouTube content by talking about the content problem. I sometimes think that I have a lot to share because I'm learning initially. I think the problem was, if I waited 5-10 years when I had a lot more drawing experience, I think I would be scrambling to really share the best things. I think a lot of the stuff I share will probably seem a bit redundant. I think to a certain extent it's probably good that I do that, because it's also helping me learn things to a certain extent. And I'm also not scrambling for stuff all of the time. Like, I have to say, to a certain extent, I wish I was making videos right when I started in 2019, because as I go, there are certain things that I remember I struggled with when I was first starting out, and I'm always trying to cover that, as difficult as it is to do. But there are a lot of gotchas, and I think the entry point to learning to draw is like the most difficult thing. So probably a lot of my videos will not interest a lot of people, and I think that's okay. Like, the problem is everyone who is making content just for the purpose of having really popular videos, it appears that they're not doing what they want to do. I'm not saying everything you do has to be what you want to do, But in my opinion, getting in drawing practice in any shape or form in these videos, or applying some skill to teach myself and teach others, is extremely important. So that is the main thing I want to say. So maybe that may be a call for you to even start your own journey, maybe making videos that you think could help others in some way. But you really have to find a... Okay. Sorry about that. What was I saying? I totally got off topic. But yeah, those were the main things. Sorry, I was being called for a moment. So I guess you have to really find a healthy balance yourself, and it probably will take a good chunk of time before you find it. I do recommend perhaps drawing down the pain points you have when you are learning as you go, because sometimes if you revisit those pain points, you could be surprised at your progress that you've gotten through it, or pain points that you may not even be thinking about that you once had. So it will really throw you for a curveball, because it's like, whoa, I was like that, or like I had that issue. I can't believe I ever struggled that way. So yeah, it's a lot like that. If you do have any questions, or if you are ever frustrated, do feel free to post down below, and maybe I can answer your question to the best of my ability, if possible. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, and as I am obligated to say in every video, please subscribe to my channel if you are interested, like the video if you like it, and comment down below. I do feel a bit weird saying that as much as I do, but it's kind of like something you just have to do, and it's okay. You know, at least I'm not saying, would you like fries with that? You know, I don't mean to say it like that. I mean, I used to work in retail a long time ago, but like a long time ago, when I was a student. But you know, some things I would do whatever I can not to have to be in a position. Yeah, fast food workers and all that are the real OGs of being human punching bags. Sad to say. I mean, I don't treat people like that, but oh man, I have stories. I have stories, and a lot of it, people, like, I have to say, it wasn't even. I think some people, yes, some people could be assholes, but I think some people, there was a lot of mental illness where I worked, and certain customers were just like that, and it's like I always try to look at that with that perspective in mind, that they probably don't even know what they're doing or saying, or maybe they did, and it's hard to say. I can't jump to conclusions anyway, but I always give the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, thanks for listening to me on that massive tangent. Yeah, bye.